In this video we're going to be discussing how to set up your bomb site and calibrate it correctly to conduct a bombing run. The first thing we need to do before we even take off is we need to figure out the wind speed. There's two ways to do this. First is to look in the description of the game map. If we do that here, it's not actually in this one. No sweat. The other way to do this is before you take off at the airfield, take a look up at the windsock. Now only active airfields have these windsocks, so if you happen to head to an inactive airfield and just hope to find out the direction, good luck. Anyway, if we look at our direction our plane is pointing, which is east-southeast, we look at the way the windsock is pointing, we can calculate that the speed of the wind is 1 meter per second headed west. Now that we've done that, we can take off. Now our target today is going to be a air base. And it's going to be at 1,500 meters is our bombing altitude. Now we're not anywhere near the target yet, but we're going to go ahead and take care of some simple steps to set up our bomb site to get ready. Because why do it right over the target when you got lots of time to go over the mud, etc. before you get there and have to worry about enemy fighters and flak and maneuvering into the target, etc. So now is a good time to do this. Couldn't do it on the field because you actually have to be in the air to go to the bomb site. So we'll hit the bomb site key. And we're in the bomb site. Now we are going to, if we look at our map quickly, we're approximately here in Sector 1. We're going to go hit this airfield down in the top of Sector 12, near La Target. We're going to come in from a due west course. Now the reason we're going to do that is because the wind's headed that direction, and the DFW and most planes, the only one being the Handley Page that's not this way, is you either fly into the wind or against the wind to effectively drop your bombs. That's the only way the site works. So if we fly due west, and we know that the wind is going due west, then what we want to do is we want to take this site and we want to set it so that it shows our plane, the wind, has an arrow pointing in the same direction, which means we're flying with the wind, which is true if we're heading west. And the wind speed over on this lever we're going to set to 1 meter per second, which is also true. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take care of our airspeed now. Why? Because we're already at our target altitude. So if we look, we go back to our cockpit and we look, our airspeed right now is 140. So if I go back to my bomb site, this dial over here, we're just going to dial it in. 140. And we're going to leave it. Now, we've done everything we can do at this point to get ready. We don't mess with the altitude. The reason for that is the minute we mess with the altitude, it starts moving our bomb site down. We don't want to do that because as long as we keep it at max altitude, the bomb site gives us the longest look forward through the bomb site that we can possibly have. The reason this is important, because once you go to the bomb site, you want to walk the bomb site into the target rather than just hoping that you clip it when you go to the bomb site because you've already got it staring down at the precise aiming point. If you walk it in, you're much less likely to miss the target, screw it up, etc. And so we're going to come back in just a second here when we get closer to the target, and we're going to do the bomb run. Alright, and now we're currently crossing the mud, and if you look out ahead, you will see Or maybe you won't, but it's there, trust me. There's an airfield. Dead ahead. Now you notice we're not flying directly west, and there is a reason for that. We'll get to that in just a second. So we're at just over 1,500 meters, 1,520 let's call it. And, oh, there's the airfield up here on my bomb site. So now what I'm going to do, my crosshairs aren't lined up, I'm going to start using this lever and maneuvering my plane in. Now I'm going to leave the altitude levers alone for the second. And I'm not traveling directly west, you'll notice. And the reason is because look at the hangars. The hangars don't line up directly west. Now slowly the bomb site's getting close to the target. I'm going to actually drop my bomb site 1,000. Now look at the jump. Look at the jump. I'm walking the target in on the bomb site. And now what I'm going to do is as it gets closer, I'll move it the last 500 meters that I need. There we go. I'm all set up. I can use this up here to zoom in if I want. Now I'm not lined up directly west, but the wind speed's relatively low. And I'm hoping for the best here. Now I've dropped 5 bombs trying to hit the hangars. Well, let's see how we do. Zoom out. Oh, you can see down there, I got a couple hits. I got really close. So 2 hits, and the other 2 went slightly wide. Now the reason for that, again, as I was saying earlier, is that the hangars do not line up on a direct westerly course. I mean, go figure, they didn't place their airfield at directly the right angle to attack. That happens. That's life. So I still have 3 bombs left. They're little ones, but they'll work. So I'm going to come around. I'm going to direct 180. Now heading almost due east. I'm going to go back to my bomb. I'm going to set the altitude to 0 again. Quick double check my speed. I think we're going to up it slightly. And I'm off target, but that's alright. I got a little time. I have to walk the site into the right altitude. Gotta home it in. Bombs away on that hangar. Let's see what that does. Got it. See? So if you are real careful about how you bomb, you can be precise. That was one 12.5 kilogram bomb. That's all it was. I mean, that's the smallest bomb you can carry. And I was close. Close enough to kill. And that's all that matters. Now I want to go back to the bomb site for a second. I want to explain a quick nuance of how I did something there. On that second run, I don't know if you saw, but when I turned around, I didn't mess with the wind speed dial at all, even though I did a 180. And the reason I didn't do that is because the other thing I did was on the first run, I noticed that my bombs dropped along, which told me that I had incorrectly set my airspeed. I knew my wind direction was correct, but I knew my airspeed was wrong. It was too low. So when I turned around, I increased it by 5 meters per second. Now what that essentially did is it canceled out 2 meters per second on the wind speed gauge. If you think about it, because the wind I was saying was blowing 1 meter per second with me. When I turned around, by saying I was going 5 meters per second faster, the bomb sight between the two, between this and the 2 meters per second I was off, because what I should have had was 1 meter per second going the other way into the wind, it gave me a net 3 meters per second increase in terms of my aiming, which, as you saw, was enough to hit that hangar. So sometimes, if you have to do it on the fly and the wind speed's low, you can make the adjustment necessary to your aim simply by adjusting the airspeed dial without messing with the wind direction dial and having to flip it and reset it. This comes with familiarity in practice. That's the only way you'll learn to do it. So good luck practicing. I just wanted to make sure that I explained that piece and didn't confuse anybody. You'll get the hang of it, believe me.